Hi guys, sorry about the delay there. Hi Formal, hi Vicky, always good. Yes, Vicky, the timer had reached 0. I was, oh hey Wesley, thank you for joining us. Yeah, as you can see, I've just spam linked every single source I have into the chat so Willie can follow along. Willie, I didn't think it was worth doing because Willie's operating off one monitor today, so he's going to have to do a little bit of juggling. So I didn't actually link them. But yeah, I've just linked them all in chat right before we went live, so that was what the delay was. Anyway, moving swiftly on, because by Christ do we have a packed show for you today. We have a lot of stuff to go over. There is an oodle of releases, and there is, because of Gamescom, a massive amount of news as well. So, without further ado, Willie.
Oh, I thought that's it. There we go. I was just waiting for the introduction. He's going to do it in a minute. He's going to do it.
Yeah.
Do I do it now? No, I'll stay quiet for now.
Willie! How the devil are you, sir?
I am good. How are you? It's lovely to be back. I'm away from my usual digs at the moment, looking after a friend's place. Just making sure that the house doesn't catch fire or his dogs don't eat each other, and yeah, free accommodation and food for a week or so. So that's fun. And that's why I wasn't here Friday, as you may remember, because they hadn't yet left, and there was a wee toddler in the house. So
bless.
Wasn't really good to have that on audio. Would have annoyed everyone, I would have thought. So I kind of stayed in the background.
And yes, Wesley, we are actually covering an article of that today. Because well, spoiler alert, in 9 minutes and 10 seconds, NASA are going to cover the central US solar eclipse. And I will link this in chat for you guys because this is currently being streamed right now, live from NASA. This is obviously their .gov channel. This is their main channel. But yeah.
Very exciting stuff. I mean, what, you see it maybe 15, 20 years in an average lifetime? The sun does that?
Yep, it's not that often. So
I mean, I'm no scientist, but it is something along
it is certainly something worth taking an interest in. Obviously, our show is more important than a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
And I would never suggest someone go, take a break from our show to watch something so trivial as, the sun going behind the moon for a few minutes. But
yes, the movements of astral bodies are nowhere near as important as gaming news, of course. But anyway.
Not with a fan base like ours.
So, yeah, Willie, what games have you been playing?
Oh, devious. What games haven't I been playing? I've been playing all sorts. I have been playing a little bit of Rainbow Six, thanks to you. I have been playing a little bit of bring my recent there we go. And scroll all the way to the top. Yeah, so Rainbow Six. I've been playing some Overwatch.
Yeah.
I've been playing some RimWorld as well.
RimWorld,
yes.
That title just strikes a chord with me, and which is why the internet has ruined me. So,
RimWorld is a kind of game where you would just, take a couple of settlers, and they have these predetermined backstories set up for them.
Yes.
And they will go and crash land on a planet, and it is up to you to look after said settlers, make sure they have enough to eat, make sure they're warm, make sure they, are not unhappy. And you've just got to make sure that their survival is there, basically. You can tell them what to do. You can give them jobs. They're obviously good at some jobs and really rubbish at others. And they will learn at different speeds depending on how enjoyable they find the task at which they're, learning.
Wait, that's the wrong tab.
Which one are you looking at?
I took the Mixer tab instead of the Steam tab that I just opened, because it's the game that you're actually talking about.
Yes, it's the game room world, which it does create some very fascinating little stories. Actually, it's very much Prison Architect-esque with the same kind of animation
aesthetic, yeah.
But it's very enjoyable. Some of the story, it's got like an in-game story mode where it'll give you stories of the little characters, little events that happen, little disasters that happen. You can get raided, so you have to defend your base from raiders.
Speak of the devil, the raiders are coming in.
There you go. And then you have little fights in which your colonies can get injured, and therefore when they do get injured, you need somewhere to take them. You need someone to look after them. You can kill or capture your raiders. If you capture them, you can sell them off to the next trading party that comes through for quite a bit of money.
Oh, slavery. Nice.
Yeah. Or you can hope to take on them into your own group and kind of convince them that your way of living is better than the life that they did have. So there's lots of layers and elements of strategy to the game. And it does make for some quite interesting stories and gameplay. So yeah, I've been playing a little bit of that.
Are those grubs with miniguns?
They are grubs with miniguns, yes.
Wow. Okay.
They're an alien life form. Mostly hostile, but that's kind of later in the game. So yeah, I've been playing a little bit of that. Always fun to play new games. And yeah, apart from that, Battlefield 1.
Oh, Battlefield as well. Okay.
Which I've been playing. Yeah, I think that's about it, really. So quite a selection of little games there. What about yourself? What have you been up to?
Well, myself, I have been playing Siege as well with yourself. I also dipped my toes into the rather hot, funky waters of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Oh, yes, I saw you playing that this morning.
Yeah, I was talked into it by Violi and Not Your Average Senpai. Yeah.
Go on.
Well, my experiences with PUBG are generally as follows. Start off with the best of intentions. Pick a location that you don't think is going to be overrun. Land, pick up a couple of cool things, and get shotgunned to the face. Or from behind. Either or. It generally doesn't matter, but the shotgunning definitely happens at some point.
From what I hear, most people do prefer it from behind. They don't see it.
It's kind of just like the thing that happens right now for me. Oh, you've been playing a few games that you found in a box at Goodwill, Wesley. What games are those? Obviously, perhaps on a retro trip right now. Oh, NASA Eclipse 30 seconds. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Let's take a look at this bad boy.
Now going over live to our NASA correspondent. Let's have a look at that that eclipse
It is
there.
actually going to go touch
Yep,
the
that is
sun,
definitely the
and it's
moon
to
going
get
over the
closer
sun we
to
have there.
Any
It's the
other
final
spacecraft
bit.
has gone
And
before to the sun
hopefully
to study
what we're
the
gonna see
corona,
shortly
to actually sample the very corona that
is the
we will be
corona.
seeing very soon.
Yes, we will.
Cut
It's
away.
almost here. Thank you, Lika, for joining us,
Pleasure.
and thank you for sharing that. So
There it
now
is,
we're going to take
on
it
G2.
back to
Oh, sorry,
NASA
G3.
Eclipse Central in Charleston. Take it away, Dwayne.
Okay, now, just now coming in, we
All
have
of a
an
sudden,
exclusive
Black Hole
sneak
Sun
peek
has
of the
come to
total
mind.
solar eclipse, and it is arriving at the United States. It's
My
over the Pacific
God, that's
Ocean
beautiful.
and about to reach Oregon. This is the celestial event that we've all been waiting and anticipating for years. We'll begin looking through the eyes of NASA out the window of our G3 aircraft. Let's take in the view.
That is stunning.
Remember, folks, don't look directly at the sun with your naked eyes.
But it's great if you live in the UK because it's always dark. So, or cloudy.
And now we're looking at the first glimpse
That's
of the total eclipse from the
amazing.
ground. Wait, let's see. That's still the G3. There we go. And now we're looking at the first glimpse of the total eclipse from
This
the
is
ground on United States soil.
Madras, Oregon.
This is coming to us from Salem, Oregon, where thousands of people are gathered and experiencing this monumental event.
Oh no,
a
no,
total solar eclipse.
Vicky, that's
Let's take
that's
a
fine.
look
This
and
is
take in
exactly
the-
what I wanted.
It's like the Eye of Sauron.
It's such a beautiful thing, and there's so many interesting things about the corona itself. And it's just, it's one of those incredibly unusual astronomical coincidences that we have an orbiting satellite that just so happens to perfectly eclipse the sun, so you can actually see the light coming from the sun without the sun, which is a very unusual experience in itself. You sort of see the atmosphere of the sun. It's incredible. I mean, I've also been far north while serving in the military and seen the Aurora Borealis. And that is another incredibly awe-inspiring experience. There is the legend that the Inuit people, and I'm showing my ignorance by labeling them all as Inuits, but it's the most common term. The Inuit people that believed it was their ancestors. They had a small window into seeing their ancestors actually walking through and making their way through the afterlife. And you can genuinely see some strange, very strange and unusual shapes in the Aurora Borealis.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the human mind. I mean,
Oh yeah,
that's why it's so
definitely-
good at seeing faces where really there are none.
Oh, most definitely. We're pre-programmed to recognize faces and familiar patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, yeah, Vicky. Oh God, it is quite incredible, the size of our universe.
I mean, just on the scale of things, the planet Earth is actually such a tiny planet in comparison with so many others.
Well, on that particular subject, one of the incredibly interesting things about that is one of the furthest pictures of our planet was just after Voyager 1 got out of range.
And we can see the diamond ring. It's amazing.
There it
It's
is.
fantastic. You see the outer edge. I see prominences, little red pieces of chromosphere from the lower atmosphere. This is amazing. This is
Yeah,
absolutely
they've had to
amazing.
set
Jotty,
it to
what
us
we got?
slightly
That looks pretty
darker.
cool.
I mean, it's breathtaking. I just, even seeing it right
Protection.
now through
Used
the
to
TV,
watch
it's just
this,
an amazing thing to see. I
actually
cannot
with my
imagine
welding
what we're
visor.
going to feel here in South Carolina when we have our chance.
Well, I hope we have our chance to, Sean, and, get that weather up here looking good here in Charleston.
Back when I used to work as a welder.
Oh, what was I saying?
Now, what do
So Alex,
Alex, what are we seeing here?
Is that from the G3? That looks like from the G3 because I see Spectra there.
No, still from Salem.
That's
Not-
still
not
from
you.
Salem.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're seeing the
Yes,
bright.
formal,
Actually, the
pale blue
camera
dot. That's
is
exactly
causing
what I
a
was
little
gonna
prism
talk about.
effect there, and you're seeing
Yeah.
the bright light from the edge of the sun. So that is really beautiful. That's sort of the edge of the diamond ring effect.
Yeah.
So,
And
Alex,
now-
a reminder, Alex, so when that diamond ring pops up, that's what people should put the.
That's
Yeah.
when people should put your glasses back on. So when you
That's
see
a
that
really
diamond
pretty
ring after totality, that's the signal to you that it's time to put it back on.
Yeah.
These little.
So look now, we see the Corona and Madras. That's gorgeous.
That's
The
amazing.
atmospheric.
Yeah.
Being able to look at that with your own eyes is an amazing
Projections there.
experience, and that only
It's a
can be
beautiful
seen when you
thing.
have
It
this
really
kind
is.
of totality.
So the
I
corona,
could only
that's the,
wish to see this
the
in real
solar
life.
atmosphere.
That's what solar
incredible.
scientists
There was
really
an
live
eclipse
for,
that
right?
passed over
Yeah.
the
Right.
UK when
That
I
is
was
the origin- that is
very
where the
young,
origin of
but it was
space
an
weather-
incredibly
That's where it
cloudy
comes from.
sky
That's
that
where
day.
most of the solar flares and the coronal mass
There
ejections,
was
big
one
explosions
about,
of particles originate
what
from.
was it? Must have been about
Now, there was solar
2004,
activity. We see it right
2005.
now. Would we be able
over
to
the
see
UK.
that popping up on the side?
If there was a coronal mass ejection leaving the sun, we could see
We could
it
see
there
it.
That's
because
the
in
last
fact
one I
we
remember
have
seeing,
seen it in the
anyway.
past, and I'll even show some history later with images that people drew of these coronal mass ejections leaving the sun during a total solar eclipse.
Now, why is it so critical and so important
But
to
still.
really get this type of view from the sun's atmosphere from the corona?
Anyhow,
Johnny?
that is incredibly
You mean
beautiful.
like in a total solar eclipse?
Yes. There's the diamond.
That's
There
the
we go,
diamond ring
diamond
again.
ring.
That's amazing. That's from Madras.
Wow.
It is important to do this because we do this kind of eclipses artificially, but we do not do it as perfect as nature does. The moon covers the sun in
Well, anywho, yes. As we were discussing, the furthest picture of planet Earth was taken as Voyager was just reaching the very limit of its communications and was effectively going to be on its own forever. I think it was on the outer reaches of either Jupiter or Saturn. And I can't remember the name of the scientist now. But basically, he convinced them to send one last picture. And, hey, Mimi, good to see you.
Hey, you baby.
And this one last picture was a picture of planet Earth amongst the rings of, I think it was Saturn. And it was this tiny, insignificant speck. A tiny little point of light in the distance. And it's that kind of perspective that people need. Because on astronomical scale, Earth is so tiny and insignificant. It really is just the tiniest point in space. I mean, it's 93 million miles, which is one astronomical unit. Carl Sagan, that was it. Thank you, Formal. It was Carl Sagan that convinced them to turn Voyager around and take one last picture of Earth before it broke communications and was gone forever. But anyway, this is not Devious Talks, science and stuff like that.
This is not the
gaming
Night
news.
Sky with Devious and Willie.
Yeah, this is gaming news. So, I mean, that was absolutely genuinely beautiful and wonderful. And it's a very rare experience. And it's currently crossing the US as we speak.
There you go. A little bit of real life, legitimate news on this show.
Taking up people, it's never going to happen again. So, we've talked about our games and things. Well, yeah. Very true, Vicky. So, we've talked about our video games. So, those articles, right? Most definitely. Yeah, so shall we break into releases, Willie?
I think we shall.
Okay.
Okay, now, bear with me. I'm working off one monitor again for this today. So, scrolling, and that's the wrong tab. So, let me find the game releases tab and scroll back up to the top.
Spoiler alert.
Here we go. So, Madden, NFL 18, Xbox One, Electronic Arts, release date August the 22nd, which is tomorrow.
Holy mother of God, that was bad. Apologies.
Also available on PlayStation 4. American football is you grab a ball, you run with it or throw it, and you get to the other end of the field.
Sports ball.
Yeah.
Well, that was nice catch.
Well, I should hope so. It's a video.
Oh, yeah, this is the one with the solo campaign. That's why this struck a chord. Yeah.
Knocks you down. You get back up again.
Single player sports ball. The best.
They've brought in the, I guess, controversial campaign mode, which is a solo story where you follow the career of someone. A certain sports ball person.
Sports ball. Okay, so the next release I have, this is also due August 22nd, tomorrow, from Team 17. These are the same people that brought you, I believe, Worms.
Oh yeah, Team 17 did Worms, yeah.
The Escapist 2. Available on Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4. Now, The Escapist, if you probably did see this game knocking about at least a few years ago. It was a fairly popular game. A lot of the streamers were streaming this game, where you play basically a convict in a prison, and as it says on the tin, you have to escape.
Yeah. I remember The Escapist, and it's something that I've always kind of loved the idea of, but never ever got to play.
Well, I think they've done a lot of updates, especially graphically, with the second one. I don't know how much of the same it is. I know it's got rather a large mod scene to it as well.
It does, yeah.
So, if you enjoyed some of the others, this may well be something to look out for. The next one I have to talk about is Swap Quest for Xbox One. Constantine Graph release date of August the 22nd, 2017, tomorrow. Also on iPhone, iPad, PC, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation Vita.
Oh, awesome. Just what I always wanted.
Yeah.
Cheap port from a phone.
So, basically, you swap the tiles to create your own path and create your own adventure. It plays a little bit like Super Mario World, cross between some sort of iPad puzzle game and I don't know what to say.
Yeah, but, I don't know what to say.
I think the fact that it's also on iPad and iPhone speaks kind of volumes to this one.
Well, if you like that kind of thing, it's possibly best left as a mobile game, to be fair. I mean, it looks something like, I don't know, I'd be okay with if I was, like sat in a doctor's waiting room or, just sat there twiddling my thumbs waiting for something, which oft happens in life. Yeah, it might be an entertaining little thing.
Yeah, but it's available from tomorrow. Next one I have is a new episode for Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series. So this is episode 3, More Than a Feeling. And yes, it did make me start singing the song in my head. But this is released again tomorrow, August the 22nd. Also available on iPhone, iPad, PC, and PlayStation 4.
Apparently I'm not.
So, Telltale Games. It's going to be story-driven. There's probably going to be a lot of player choice in the dialogue.
Oh, most definitely in a Telltale game. Most definitely.
And, yeah, just basically cashing in on that movie franchise.
Where are we going, Star-Lord?
We need Nebula to help us translate the Eternity Forge.
We got a little detour to make, right, Quill? Rocket?
So, yeah, if you like that, that is available from tomorrow. The next release I've got is quite an unusual one. Chromagun. Now, this is Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4. Release date August the 23rd, so that is going to be Wednesday.
You see, I think I'm familiar with this. I think this is one that Tim actually got to play.
We need somebody to
It's kind of like Portal as far as I can see.
Yeah, Tim did play this one on stream. The developer sent him a key to try it out. It is lots and lots of
just another science
color-based puzzles, essentially.
And there's this snarky dude giving instructions over a speaker system.
Yes, it's very much in
You
that
know what?
Portal-based kind of puzzle, get through the room without dying sort
Oh,
of
but by the way, your
game.
colleague John,
There's
he
different things you
did,
got to do
and
in
he
order
had a
to open the door
blast,
to
of
the end of
course,
the level.
when John comes back to work, if he comes back. Everybody.
Yeah.
I think there's an element of humor to it, same as the other Portals. However, I'm not sure if it's going to be on par with the others. However, as you can see, it does have fairly good reviews on Steam so far.
Yeah, this is the closest we'll ever get to a Portal sequel since Valve can't count to 3. Top review.
Yep, pretty much.
But,
Next one I have.
You see how many received the product for free, though, so there is that.
Yeah, a bunch of them got that. So we'll see. Next one is Black Sea Odyssey. So, trying to bring this up.
Oh, we looked at this. We've looked at this before.
Yes, I believe we have. Yes, it's a top-down rogue light space shoot-'em-up RPG. Twin stick shooter.
Yeah, I think this was back in the day when we were checking out sort of like decent early access things, because that's where it first crossed our radar. Because its launch date was into early access, not launching.
Sorry, we're losing you where you are on my tabs there. Yeah, it's kind of that
Hey, thanks,
asteroid.
Echo. Good to see you.
Hey, Echo.
Yeah, we've covered this one. It's an interesting looking little game, especially if you like the, I guess, twin stick bullet hell game. This is, and it's got a demo. Sweet.
Talking about games that we've looked at before.
Yeah.
F1 2017. This is released for Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4 on August 25th. Friday.
And just saying, the only reason we've got this in here is because Willie likes the music.
I know you ripped it a little bit. It's kind of catchy. Not as good as the normal one, but still, I like it. But yes, we did cover this thing. But it's been released, so you're having it again. And the last one I have for the Xbox crowd on this one is Eventide 2, The Sorcerer's Mirror on
This view
Xbox
is
One, also
impressive.
available on PC.
Those clouds look weird. There weren't any storms in the forecast.
Jenny, watch out! Ah!
No one can escape death.
Now.
Twardowski had known the feeling of loss of the dearest person.
It's a casual hidden object
He
game,
swore he would bring her back,
so
no matter
not
the
really much
cost.
to talk about on this one. Find hidden objects in the picture, click on it, and you unlock the next place to go or something to do. So yeah, it's that kind of game.
Well, if you want lots of chill with your game, these games have it in spades.
Oh yeah, super chill. You can just throw on some music and just click and just do whatever whilst you do this. It doesn't take too much brain power. So,
Well, it seems quite well produced, even if it is just a hidden object game. It seems to have a pleasant story to it and things.
you know, they're fairly pretty to look at, and just gets you. It's like, I don't know, doing the crossword in the local paper. I would assume, you know, something you do at your leisure. You can do whatever you like whilst you're doing it. And, you know, it's just something to chill to, really.
Yeah.
Nothing much more than that, really.
Echo, did you were you here at the start, dude? Because we covered the solar eclipse as well, which was nice. Go on, Willie. On to the next one.
Moving on, we're coming across to PC releases. Now, this is where it starts getting a little bit more murky. Super Combo Man Smash Edition PC. Flash Games, release date August the 22nd, also available on PlayStation 4.
Go on, video. You can do it. There we go.
Are you having trouble there? So yeah, it's basically one of the Newgrounds-esque games. But hey, this is PC releases of 2017, so what can you do?
Okay.
But it's one of the better titles that I saw, so I threw it in.
Well, it's bright and animated.
Look at you trying to find some positive game to say.
I'm proud of myself. I'm trying to be positive about these things.
Next one I have is a Korean title by the looks of it. It's a Korean horror game. It's called White Day, a labyrinth-named school. It's by P-Cube. Release date of the 22nd of August, also available on iPhone, iPad, and PlayStation 4. It's... what was it? Fatal... What's that one where you went round in the dark taking pictures of spoopy things?
It is Fatal Frame.
Yeah, I thought it was. It's kind of in that sort of esque thing. Korean horror, spoopy things in the dark. Very weird. It's going to be very weird because obviously, you know, Asian horror movies tend to be fairly weird. So, if that's your bag,
it looks interesting. Yeah, if it's your bag, it's all of that. I mean, look at that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And the last one I have to talk about today is a little game called Distrust. by Aloha Entertainment.
We have an emergency.
Release date August
Will this be
23rd.
one after the other? We need help.
Now this, I chose this because the animation to it looked awesome.
But then, that bright light.
So I don't really know what you call that style of animation, but I really like it.
Yeah, it's static scenes that are animated.
I guess.
I'm not sure what the style is genuinely called.
So apparently Distrust is inspired by John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That is a very entertaining concept.
A helicopter crash left a group of explorers stranded near an Arctic base. As they try to find a way back, all they are doing is sinking deeper into a nightmare scenario. When they sleep, they attract a terrifying force that sucks the life out of their bodies. But the longer they battle exhaustion and stay awake, the less likely they are to survive. As the survivors try to sleep just enough to stave off fatigue without dying, they slowly go mad and eventually reach the point where they can no longer trust their senses. In time, they can't even tell the difference between reality and a hallucination.
This actually sounds pretty sweet in its concept. I'm not sure about the execution, obviously, but that sounds really cool.
I mean, it's an interesting little game.
Especially if it's based on the thing that, you know, that would mean one of you don't know who, is the traitor, is the thing, which can mimic humans and take them over and nom them, nom 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 nom. But yeah.
Well, I like the part where, because if you've ever suffered from sleep deprivation, it sucks in just the most bizarre way.
I think when I'm sleep deprived, the first sign I hear of it is auditory hallucination. I hear little jingles and melodies in my head. I mean, the technically, I guess that's my mind going, right, okay, here's a lullaby. Because I always hear it when I'm just... So, like, if I was here now, sat here, my eyes would be slowly closing, and it's that thing just before you fall asleep, and I hear this kind of, like, melody. It's, yeah... It's weird. But that's my own personal experience of it.
I recall a time when I was so tired that I was hallucinating and seeing things.
I've never actually seen things, but I used to get it a lot in the Navy because the sleep patterns, you never got full sleep. You were only getting it in sort of like 4 hours or something like that. 4-hour stints. You never got like a full night's restful sleep. So it was always, well, especially if you were doing trials and things like that, that was always difficult as well. But anyway, enough about my salty old sea stories. We've covered the NASA live stream, which has been pretty damn awesome. And here is the track as it moves across the US. And we recently watched it in, I believe it was Oregon. So
yes.
It was
a good 30 minutes ago.
It was pretty damn awesome. But anyway, let's shut all this stuff down so I've actually got some space.
Oh, that'd be lovely. And sorry for the very awkward, chunky reading of all of that, but working off one monitor while you're doing all this isn't easy.
Yes, it does require a little bit of juggling.
Just a tad.
And rather than sales as the first article I open up with, how about a job opportunity? Xenoblade Dev. This is Monolith Software, by the way, is hiring for an ambitious new action game. And here's something else. The game will be different from the usual studio's brand image. Now, they're popular for the Xenoblade Chronicles, effectively. I mean, Monolith have done quite a few different games, but yeah, that's, I think, their most famous IP, so it's going to be something different than that sort of JRPG style. And they are looking for character modeler, in-game animator, main character designer, system framework planner, and project manager. So, all of you out there, there are some very, very smart people. I don't mean to like blow smoke up your ass, but there are some very, very smart people that watch this show. Monolith is hiring. And they are known for the work of Xenogears, Xenosaga, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as well. All that kind of stuff, so, yeah. No audio?
No, he's saying that they're not.
Oh, sorry. Oh, thought that was the stream then. I was like, oh shit, have we just like gone through all that? Yeah, they're not hiring audio people. Sorry, Echo. Yeah, yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, that's
all right. I knew where he was going with his train of thought there.
Yeah, especially seeing as Echo, and many congratulations, has recently graduated, I believe.
Ah, congratulations.
So we'll be going into the field of audio and perhaps even games. So we can all like brag and say we know someone in the gaming industry. Field of unemployment. You ain't wrong though, Echo. You ain't wrong. Something I deal with a lot. But yes, here's some good news. The PC and Xbox One, now this is for Sea of Thieves, it's going to be crossplay. Now that's sweet.
That's very cool.
Yes,
I can see that being a bit of a thing between Xbox and PC.
It is
because
cool.
Obviously all owned by Microsoft.
Well, again, one of the cool things is it's mostly a cooperative game. There is PvP elements in Sea of Thieves, but I feel it's mostly cooperative from what I've seen of it so far. So yeah, because all the sort of like getting treasure and stuff like that, that's all sort of PvE, but then sort of like you've got to get the treasure back, and then it becomes kind of like war on the open seas kind of thing. Then that becomes PvP. Treasure. Yeah. So
and rum. I like rum too.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of cool. I mean, who can argue with a big player base? The larger your player base, the more popular the game stays for an extended amount of time. And this was suggested by one of our viewers, Formal. Jurassic World Evolution is a dinosaur theme park sim coming next summer. And yeah, I've got to say, this looks pretty damn cool, I have to say.
So, theme park, but just with dinosaurs.
Yeah. Take a look at the clip. Baby T-Rex. Big grown-up T-Rex.
Control, we're at the fence. Almost ready to re-engage power. Hey! Over here!
Nom nom nom.
Nom 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 nom.
ACU building online. Rapid response unit deployed. Observe non-lethal protocols.
Roger, Control. Deploying non-lethal countermeasures. Control, we have eyes on the asset.
yacht
Okay, I
on
think
Jurassic World.
I think the internet has ruined me. When I heard that music, all I could think of was "Holy fucking shit!" Holy
Yes, that's definitely one reason why the internet has ruined you. But yeah, Jurassic World Evolution, that's looking pretty damn sweet. And yeah, the bad flute one as well. Yeah, it's well, what can I say? It's looking, that was in engine on, you know, and kind of like pre. I don't believe it was in game. They did say so at the start. What did it say? Pre-rendered footage. Yeah. So all the things that we saw there is not what we're going to see in game. Just saying.
I wouldn't expect it to be.
Yeah, none of that is going to be what is in game. I mean, it may sort of like share some aesthetics, but we're going to have to wait a little while to see what this game really holds.
Always wait to see what a game's like before you pre-order it.
And this is Echo, which is a sci-fi puzzle stealth 'em up thingy-me-what's-it that has recently been announced. And it's, well, we're not going to watch the full thing, but it does have some very, very interesting AI. I don't think it'd stand, Echo, honestly.
Welcome to this look at Echo. My name is Martin Emborg and I'm the art and game director at Ultra Ultra.
And my name is Morten Hedgren. I'm the game and level designer.
We're going to take a look at...
Right, the art and game designer, art and level designer went to town, as we just saw, just in the first few seconds of this.
A bit before midway through the game. This is the main character called
stuff.
N, and she's journeyed to this palace in the depths of space to try and revive someone she lost.
That's very impressive.
But what she didn't expect was that instead of reviving that person, it creates a whole
Not
lot
just
of
reflection,
currents there.
subsurface
So
scattering
she has
on
to
the
face
floor.
herself in order to achieve her goal. And that's what you'll be doing as the player. You'll be faced with your own playstyle.
So this is the start of a new level, and here are the two objectives. Those are keys that I need to get to the center of the level, so I'll start doing that now.
And the way that it functions, this whole echoing thing, is that the palace is keeping an eye on you at all times and monitoring everything you do. And whenever you see a glassy ghost imprint like this one, that's something that your future echoes will be able to do. So once you've done enough things that the palace thinks that it needs to update them, a blackout will occur, and it's after this blackout that you will be up against your playstyle and decisions from the last cycle.
Okay. Again, I'm not going to like sit here and watch the whole thing, but this is what kind of makes this game cool. The game watches you how you play through, and then does a kind of like, I guess, thematic AI update. The entire rooms go black, which give you some opportunity to, the power cuts out or something similar to that, which gives you the opportunity to do stuff. And these echoes allow your characters to do extra things, and one of the most important things is the AI updates as you go through. So in sections, the AI will have learned what you did previously and respond to that. So it does have quite that biotech kind of thing going on. But yeah, it is such a very interesting game. It's one to keep on the radar. At the moment, I and most people don't have a whole lot of detail on it, but it's definitely one for the radar. Biomutant. Now this came out quite recently, with these cute furry fuzzy creatures in a rather bizarre lake in a German gaming magazine. And that was the first thing of it, and all of a sudden like it just exploded onto the scene, and now we have an announcement trailer.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, yeah, it's
a certain raccoon with a rocket launcher.
Not exactly high on game content, but it's certainly very interesting and intriguing. As far as just a piece of animation goes, and well, I kind of do take exception to the words Biomutant, but that's for another thing entirely. But one thing that is interesting to note are the actual developers. This comes from the developers of what's the game called? Big Splody Just Cause. That's it. The Just Cause developers. So yeah, these guys do have a sense of humour and aren't frightened to show it, and they do make, let's face it, interesting and splody games. So yeah.
Did I see that right? Was it a THQ studio?
It does say an advert Games Markt in a German magazine unveiled the new game from THQ Nordic and Experiment 101.
I didn't actually know THQ was still a thing.
Yeah, well, THQ Nordic certainly is.
Thought they'd gone down the pen.
No, I think it was one of those shifts. Because that's recently happened with BioWare. BioWare has effectively closed all its doors. BioWare has now ceased to exist as BioWare because every developer and everyone who's working on BioWare products and IPs has been shipped into the kind of sister studio. I can't remember the name of the place, but for all intents and purposes, BioWare has actually shut down.
Fair enough.
Here's one that I'm particularly interested in. Final Fantasy 15 is coming to the PC. OMG. They've actually... honestly, Squeenix has actually listened to their fans. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. They've listened to their damn wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still taking them a year to bring it to PC. So, But let's take a look at the goodies that we may get, because NVIDIA GameWorks is going in there, which means it's going to have some nicey-niceys in the way of physics, but...
Is this 4 Guys, 1 Car?
Yeah, this is that one.
Right.
This is the boy band simulator. we get some nice sharp resolution there. That's looking good.
Better run at 60 frames, goddamn.
4K textures. Dolby Atmos, which is just a simulated surround. NVIDIA GameWorks, Turf Effects, realistic grass simulation. So you're getting a different texture for the grass that you run through. And to be fair, you know, the aliasing could do with some work, but it looks reasonably clean. The hair works. The hair works. Oh my god, that is going to be so demanding. Combustible fluid fire and smoke simulation. That's shadow algorithms. No. Oh, Ansel, yeah. Ansel is the new tech that came through. Ansel can take up to, and don't quote me on this, but it is some sort of like ridiculous K resolution, because it takes what is rendered in the game and then upscales it. So you can have sort of like 30K resolution screenshots. Pretty cool shit.
A little bit.
And FPS. Sorry, Willie, what did you say?
I was just saying that 30K screenshots is a little bit overkill.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a lot. I'm saying don't quote me on that, but you can upscale to a pretty crazy amount, and that knowledge was relevant just post Ansel announcement. I personally haven't seen it involved in a game yet, but yeah, I know it existed, and first person in this game as well. That draw distance, though. Nice new textures. Well, I've got to say, that looks pretty damn sharp. Let's hope they just don't do some pants kind of port and actually put some effort in. That will be a hell of a game.
Yep, ready to download on Steam today for just, 130 gig download.
Yeah.
Won't take too long.
And they do say it does say the GameWorks is on the 10 series, so, it is going to need a little bit of a modern system. Hey, Inked, good to see you. Yeah, Wesley, yeah. It's going to look good, and that's, well... I really want to see this do well, because this is going to be essentially the first real AAA title port, and that's important because all previous ports are handled by people like what's the name of those guys now? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to just quickly look at this.
Not sure who you're talking about.
There's a group of people that handle almost all ports from Japan and things like that. That's these developers store page. Let's have a look. No, I can't find them. It'll come eventually anyway. But yeah. These guys handle almost all the ports over, and they are getting better. But with the advent of the modern generation of consoles, it's effectively PC architecture anyway. So this is why it's important for me, anyway, that this becomes a good port, because that will show that it's A, it's doable, B, you can do it well, and C, it can be done with, not having to put years of development into it, because it's already using PC architecture. So, I think
If
one of the
only they
reasons
could
why
do
I
it
want
a
this...
little bit faster.
Sorry?
I was just going to say, if only they could do it a little bit faster.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that I really want this... one of the reasons I really want it to do well. It's involving a lot of NVIDIA stuff. I think this is technically going to be an industry tech demo. I mean, there's some pretty good texture work going on.
Oh, yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful, the game itself.
But yeah, so I do want this to do well, and it's going to have some really cool PC tech involved when it does come over. It's just going to take a little while.
If
But
they
yeah,
can
Wesley.
get it to run in like 140 frames, that'd be nice as well.
Yeah, and Wesley, it's going to be pretty big. That's almost without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
And
most certainly.
On the heels of that, apparently it's going to support 8K resolutions. But I mean, I'm running a 1080 and I'm not going to be doing 8K resolutions. Holy shit, no.
Time to build a new PC, get a new monitor, you know.
Yeah. If only SLI would actually boost your performance for once. Okay, on to some, well, new/old IP. Fear Effect. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but that's getting a revamp. So let's take a look. And ladies and gentlemen, that is all you're getting. That is
Isn't that an old N64 IP?
It's either, I think it's first generation PlayStation. I'm just not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head.
No, wait. I might be thinking of Perfect Dark.
Oh yeah, Perfect Dark was a thing. Yeah,
which was something else entirely. No,
but
Fear
yeah,
Effect. It could have been PS1 generation.
Oh no, it says right there, Fear Effect, the cel-shaded PlayStation romp, is getting the remaster treatment. It's been 17 years since it first launched, and is now being resurrected by Sushi as Fear Effect Reinvented. Sushi is also the studio behind Fear Effect Sedna, a real-time tactics game.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Lower down it says, as soon as we announced Sedna and the revival of the franchise in April 2016, we got a lot of emails, tweets and Facebook messages to request remakes for the first episodes, and also, more surprisingly, a release of the Fear Effect Inferno. Benjamin Anasume, CEO of Sushi, tells. And the messages haven't stopped since then. More than a year and a half later, we still receive this kind of request very often. I mean, it was a big game back then, but here we go. We won't be making a simple remake, and we want to stay as close as possible to the original, but important aspects of the game will evolve, says Anasume. Oh, sorry, Ansuame. Graphics, of course, and you can see in the announcement trailer, we tried to find a very modern, yet respectful artistic direction. And I must say, we're very excited with what we've done so far. Well, it's another one to keep an eye on. If you like the old title, Fear Effects, then this is definitely something.
I mean, what do they mean? What they've done so far? They're very proud of what exactly? The trailer that you know is about less than a minute long, with her awkwardly walking across the room and staring out of a window.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, obviously, there's stuff in the background. There's more than what they've just shown us, but well, yeah, maybe it might come to something quite good, really.
Well, I hope it's better than the trailer.
Hopefully, yeah. On to the next one. PUBG gets sold over 8 million copies. The success of this game, well, the bizarre success of this game, because I'm going to put my hands up now, right, and say, this is a broadcast game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've said that for weeks.
Right? It's incredibly... It's still enjoyable to play, but it's still a broadcast game. You know, there is loads of things in this game that don't work right, or have jank physics, or seriously, a myriad of things. Collision detection, God knows what else. There are hundreds of things. I mean, it is early access, you know, so there is that going for it, but it still sold 8 million copies, and it hasn't even hit consoles yet. OMG. PUBG has made more money than God.
I think it was only about 3 or 4 weeks ago that we basically said that, you know, it had just hit 5 million copies.
Hmm.
You know, so
well, we're about to get...
That shows how much traction it's still gaining.
We're about to get a huge raft of extra clips and highlights and things like that and chicken dinners because it's recently integrated shadow play support. So, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. If you didn't already have enough of it, you can get more forced down your throat on YouTube. And
most definitely.
Fantastic.
Forza Motorsport 7 system requirements updated and PC demo on the way. So if you keep the old eye on the Forza 7, which is actually being advertised in Forza Horizons, I started the game the other day after an update and was forced to watch the intro cinematic that they made for Forza 7. I was like, I couldn't even skip it either. I was pressing buttons and nothing was working. I'm like, fuck this shit. But anyway,
that sounds a bit...
Don't make me watch an advert for a game inside your own game. God.
Yeah.
I paid for this one. You can't advertise to me in this one. But yes, there is a demo coming.
Do you have to watch that every time you start it up?
No, you don't know.
That's all right then. It's not too bad, I guess.
But it seems reasonable enough. I mean, they are doing they're doing a rather strange kind of thing, sort of low spec recommendation and a regular recommendation, an ultra recommendation, even one for Ultrabook. See, I'm not used to these kind of things. It's sort of like, because again, the industry definition of minimum requirements is the lowest that you need in order not to get an error. And this is to avoid people with the 10-year-old laptops buying it and then complaining that it doesn't work. So I think minimum specs should still be in there. But perhaps it is that versatile that it supports all this stuff. But anyway.
I wouldn't have thought so, though. But,
a new Ruiner trailer reveals a September release date. Let's take a look at this isometric cyberpunk shooter.
It's hard to keep your attention these days. Stay with me? Good. This is Raingoat City. We need to go down to see Saltly Heart. Gangs, psychos, killers. They're all here for you. And unless you duck your way out, you will need some toys.
So yes, this is Ruiner.
That kind of reminds me of a weird twin stick shooter bullet hell sort of esque game.
Oh, and that's the publisher, yeah, Devolver Digital. But it's by the developer Raycon Games. But yeah, I mean, gotta say, it's kind of cool looking.
Has developer studio gotta eat?
Here's where you come to step into the fray here, Willie, and shower us with your knowledge of Overwatch.
Okay, well, for those who don't know, it has been teased for the last coming weeks, but nothing official has been released just as yet. But today it has. The new map, Junkertown, has been announced and will be coming soon to a PTR.
Listen up, you wretched scum. I see your struggles. Trying to survive in the wasteland. It's time to face the facts. The end of the world's come and gone. Your past lives are a dream. It's time you woke up. They thought they could take our land and give it to the machines? They were wrong. We won the war. And now we reap the spoils. We built a new world from the ashes. So step into the scrapyard. No rules, no mercy. Only the strong survive. This is your queen. Welcome to the apocalypse. Welcome to Junkertown.
And all you need now is basically a Thunderdome, and you're good to go.
Yeah, it seems rather familiar, that theme there. I mean, it looks kind of cool, but is this also hinting at an event? Or is this all PvP?
Well, I would doubt that they would introduce a new event at this stage. The next event that has been predicted is going to again be the Halloween event. I would assume that they will make a little bit of a thing about their new map, like they always do, but I doubt we'll get a new holiday or event out of this one.
Well, Hess has stated in chat that he likes the animated short better, which we have right here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a fine how do you do. What was it you think got us the boot? Stealing the Queen's cash? Blowing up her summer sack? The beatdown at the bar? Whatever it was, you really ticked off the big boss this time. I don't think they're gonna let us back in. No! Well, there's two things that solve every problem. Money and explosives. I've got an idea! Gotta get money, gotta get bombs, gotta get home to Junkertown! I can't wait to see the look on the Queen's face when she sees exactly who double-crossed her! So we're gonna go over the plan one more time, so you don't screw it all up! All right, first, we light the fuse! Then we put on our inconspicuous disguises and sneak into town. After that, we get our glorious blinged out boom trolley right up to the boss's place, reveal our ingenious deception, and boom! They'll never see it coming! Oh, right! We need an escape plan. Take 2. Light the fuse, inconspicuous, sneaking through town, front door, reveal our deception, then run like hell and boom! It's foolproof. Right! The gold! No point in blowing it up, so... Use inconspicuous trolley, front door, reveal, grab the gold! And... Bill? Whatever you do, don't blow it. Inconspicuous.
Who is it?
Junkrat and Roadhog!
Oi, hit the road, mate!
Idiot.
It's Junkertown! Da 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 da. Oh.
That was pretty sweet, gotta say. That really was pretty sweet.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort and a lot of love into their little animations there, and you couldn't help but feel a little bit of the animators took a lot of inspiration from some animated cartoons from way back in the day, maybe.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That was a nice little thing. And
I almost feel like they're a little bit of the evil Timon and Pumbaa. That kind of chemistry between them.
But we have the next article, of which you are undoubtedly the best person to speak on this particular subject.
So, I was actually talking to Devious about this just before we came on air, actually, this one, and actually reading some of the notes to him. Diva is actually getting a new ability. She's being a little bit reworked, having a little bit of tweaking done to her, and basically they're going to make her so that she is fun and engaging to play. The defense matrix that she's very well known for, very powerful ability. It is being tweaked, so it is, instead of a maximum uptime of 4 seconds, which is slowly recharged, it's going to be brought down to a maximum uptime of 2 seconds. So that's a 50% decrease on how long she can hold that up.
Which is nice, because as I said to Willie just before the show, I was playing Junkrat the other night. I'd gone through 2 clips and my mine ability and was left kind of like empty-handed before her shield went down. So I couldn't do any damage to her whatsoever as Junkrat. So
yeah. At full charge, she can hold that shield up for 4 seconds and it will block every single projectile in the game.
Yeah.
Now that is being reduced down to 2 seconds. She is going to make they're going to change her ability so she can fly, fire, and well, basically before she could only boost with her jets, and if you fired, you would stop boosting with your jets. Now that's a thing of the past. She will be able to use her guns whilst flying around in the air. So that's another little nice change that's going to help her fight
up close and personal,
and just basically get in people's faces a little bit more with it. And she is getting a brand new ability from what I've read on this, it looks like it's going to be a little bit like Soldier 76 rockets. She's getting miniature missiles that she's going to be able to shoot, and they're going to be able to do like little splash damage, giving her a spike in her damage output.
Because her shotguns, unless she's right in your face, her shotguns
They
are
don't
rather
do a
weak.
lot.
Yeah,
They don't do an awful lot at all. So she's having a little bit of her defensive power stripped away, whilst boosting her offensive capabilities somewhat. So, yeah, I think it's good. They basically, from what I understand, the developers over at Blizzard wanted to nerf Defense Matrix without nerfing Diva.
Well, they seem to
So-
have done quite well.
I mean, Defense Matrix is just, I mean, it's not a very fun ability for the person using it because it's so, you press a button and it just works. There's no, there's no knack or skill to it. It's anyone can just press left click and block ultimates, basically. And it's not that fun to fight against either, as you said yourself. Once you fire all of your abilities into it and it's still there, there's not a lot you can do but reload and hold left click some more. So,
Yeah, I mean, this Diva that I played against last night was a skilled Diva. They were able to drop it and get like some tiny recharge in between the time that I was like reloading and things like that. So it was already up and usable again, and they completely negated me as a character, which wasn't a pleasant experience. And yes, LARM games are still a thing, most definitely. But moving on, onto a little bit of hardware for you. Yeah, the Corsair Katar Gaming mouse is now just $20. So if you wanted yourself a nice, sweet little mouse, and Corsair does do some really good gear, this little bad boy sets you back just $20. And just so you guys, obviously, I'm not going to link it in chat right now, but if you join the Discord, the link is directly below. All of the articles are in our Discord. So anything you see that catches your eye, you want to maybe read a little bit more into, because we've just we have so much to cover. Thank you, Vicky. That's very kind of you. We have so much to cover that we just touch on things and move on. If you want to catch up on things, or if you want to research a little bit deeper or something like that, you can jump on the Discord and read all our articles to your heart's content. Hashtag best mod.
Indeed.
Samsung 500 gig Evo solid state drive is on sale for $150. If you were going to go solid state, that is a rather nice price for a rather nice size. Honestly, that's
very similar to the one I have.
Yeah, that's pretty good, I have to say.
That's a hell of a price at the moment.
And it's a hell of an upgrade for your PC as well. I mean, again, I do the whole kind of fast and slow drives. My SSD doesn't run games. I mean, my SSD is on the operating system. And things like OBS and all that kind of main kind of system level stuff stays on the C drive, while my games are on mechanical hard drives. Large storage drives. So this gives you a lovely chunk of space in order to upgrade your system. Need for Speed Payback trailer shows off the 2018 BMW M5. Yeah, Lam, it's actually quite a good way to balance out your system. Make the best of, size and speed, because your OS is where all your caching and page file is done. So why not have a fast hard drive for it? So, yeah. But yeah, the reason why this article is actually in here is because the car itself hasn't been announced yet. This is actually a leak. So, yeah, let's take a look.
Mac, how do we always end up in situations like this?
first place. Next time, I put my money on you. Crap! Cops! They're coming from everywhere! Alright, get me out of here, man. Move! They're closing the road ahead. A small window on the left. You sure I'm gonna fit? Plenty of room. Like a clock, baby. We got spike strips. Slow it down.
On a mission, no other way they can stop me now.
Heck, did you see that? I did. Come on, let's get you home. Sounds good to me. At the end of this, you will need to turn left. It's a cop! No! Okay, come on. Start for me. Mac, he hit me with something, Mac. I can't start her. I can't hear you, Mac. You're breaking up. Big rhino. Go! There's a big-ass rhino coming at you. Really? I didn't notice. All right, then. Let's try to keep up.
On a mission, no other way they can stop me now.
I have to say. Nice. I have to say, one of the most fun things about things like Need for Speed Most Wanted and stuff like that was the damn near just God mode police cars. If you were getting chased and you got your wanted level high, man, that was tough to get away from. It was genuinely exciting. And if they bring that back, that will be a whole lot of fun. I used to really enjoy those. But yeah.
It's kind of starring in your own Too Fast, Too Furious film, isn't it?
It kind of is, exactly as Vicky just said in chat, yeah. And here's something for, well, I know one of our viewers has a Switch, but there's a rather nice little game being released for it. Or Transporter, yeah.
Said when the dangers came, a new cry could be heard, the song of a cub.
Oh, it's so cute.
Born to sing in full voice. A song of all alike. A song to break the silence. To heal the forest of life. To take the shadows. To be cunning and sly. To stop the evil. The silent ones. And make the world a home again.
That's how the story goes. The story of the beast with those 4 dirty paws.
To fly. And to fly. Do you hear her? Can you hear the forest speak?
That is super cute. So, Fee is recently been announced, and it's another thing that is coming to the Nintendo Switch.
It's a very cutesy game. I do believe it's. Is it already out on some other platforms as well? I have heard of Fee before.
It was recently got its announcement at Gamescom, so I don't have a lot of information on it right now. I mean, again, it says it was first announced at E3 as well. There we go. One of the most delightful surprises of E3.
Maybe that's where I heard it then.
I mean, the launch is supposed to be early 2018, so... Anyhow, here's something I want to debunk once and for all. Wearing anti-static wrist straps to build or modify your PC. Yes, you can get another game for your Switch formal. That's one of the only reasons I actually featured that thing, because, OMG, there is a game coming to the Switch. But anyway, yeah, you don't need to do it. Just touch the metal on your PC case or something occasionally. Unless you are really wearing sort of like incredibly static-inducing slippers on your on your carpet, then no.
Or
It's-
just touch a sink or, you know, a metal tabletop or something.
Yeah, and as Wesley says, hardwood flooring, not a thing. So, yeah, no. Whilst it is advisable, and while some components are susceptible to static shock, if you aren't poking and prodding your memory modules and your processor, then everything's okay. Shouldn't use an AMD GPU with an Intel CPU. Yep, that's complete and total bollocks. There is no reason to be concerned about that kind of thing.
I mean, I think it used to work that way, but it's no longer now like that.
No. More RAM equates to faster performance. Now, this is both a yes and a no. If you're running on 2 gig and you upgrade to 16 gig, then yes, it is the best bang per buck performance boost that you could possibly have for your PC. But if you're running on sort of like 8 to 16 and going up to 32, no, you aren't going to see a single jot of difference. Just saying. I mean, myself, I have 32 gig of RAM. I regularly come halfway to filling it. I regularly fill 16 gig, but that's because I have Chrome tabs with umpteen windows on this one, and another Chrome window, and I'm running OBS, and I'm running, you know, various other programs alongside it. So, yeah, if you're going to that level, yeah, you're really not, you really don't need that amount of memory. And it won't speed you up. It will only speed you up if it is actually the bottleneck. Yeah, exactly, Vicky. You have to identify where the slowdown in your system is. I mean, if you have 16 gig of RAM and are sitting perfectly comfortable at 16 gig, because, you know, I think that's a good level of RAM, yeah, that's not going to speed up your hard drive. Not even by a little bit. You get more VRAM by adding a second graphics card. I personally have never heard this one before because...
I have. I've
really?
heard this.
No,
People
it's complete
think
bullshit.
that it's additive, but it's definitely not.
Yeah, it definitely does not stack. It's and hell, most games don't even support SLI well anyway. Normally, you get the second GPU offloaded to just physics. You know, all the video load is still on the main card. It just offloads slower calculations. Example, physics calculations. It offloads that to the second GPU. Now, while that will mean a small performance boost, it does nothing for your VRAM whatsoever. Oh yeah, well, I remember SLI going, well, not SLI, but dual GPUs going back to the old Voodoo cards. But that was back in the days where adding a second
Holy
card
crap.
meant you got double performance. It's not quite the case nowadays. For many
Voodoo
reasons.
cards. I haven't heard those for a very long time.
Oh yeah. More and larger fans equate to a louder PC. Definitely not true, especially if you buy decent fan design. And on fan design, I just want to show you that these grooves allow the turbulence of the fan to be directed and not really a laminar flow, but definitely smoothed out. And if you can see, if you notice the increased angle of attack on the inside, but shallower on the outside, essentially that's just maximizing the use of the fan blade. And it's a very, very smart idea. Because if you have a steeper angle on the slower rotating, because it's a circle, if you rotate a circle, the closer you come towards the center, the slower it rotates. So an increased angle of attack here and a shallower angle of attack out here just means good airflow at lower RPMs. And I can heartily recommend a big old 12-inch fan on the side of your case. I have one myself, and I can almost turn off my GPUs because the case airflow is so good. But that's another thing entirely. Yes, adding more fans does not necessarily mean you make more noise, especially if you have a heating problem inside your PC and you're adding more fans to expel it. If you expel that error, your fans don't need to work as hard. It's that simple. This is something that anybody who's watched the show before knows. It's not okay to buy a cheap PSU. It's not okay. Buy cheap, pay twice. You buy some cheap no-name brand PSU, you will be replacing it in like a year or so. It's just that simple. They don't last long enough. I mean, it's fine if you have nothing else. If you genuinely have no other option. You know, like your PC has suddenly exploded, you need a new PSU, and you've only got something like 30, 40 bucks. You know, it's kind of okay. But you can get yourself certainly a bronze standard, and 80 plus efficiency just means those efficiency ratings just means you are using better components because the efficiency rating goes up.
Obviously,
anyway.
it's not the it's not the how, you know, the how high the wattage is. It's how good the, you know, whether it's gold rated or bronze rated. Don't go anything below a gold rated rating for your PSU.
Personally, I feel that, I mean, if you have that option, then definitely that is good advice. If you have the cash to buy those things, then unfortunately, this is one of the real places where expensive is actually better. Whilst, I mean, definitely shop around, without a shadow of a doubt, shop around, but the actual efficiency of the device is very important. And the bronze, gold, platinum standard, so on and so forth like that, they are certifications outside of the PC manufacturer. So they have to achieve certain standards in order to be able to claim they reach those obvious standards. Yeah, an 80 gold is perfect and fine. It's going to be reliable. It's going to last you a lot. It's going to last you almost, if not more, than the life of the computer. I've never had a high-end PSU. It's always been the last thing to upgrade for me, to be honest with you. But anyway, an SSD isn't worth it for a budget gaming rig. Definitely wrong. It is worth it. I mean, whilst you are going to get greater storage space on an older mechanical hard drive, as we discussed earlier, an SSD is a decent performance boost, especially if that's your your operating system drive.
SSDs are becoming cheaper and
much cheaper.
time,
Yes,
so
they are. Well, these are essentially, well, kinda, yeah,
myths.
These are essentially myths of PCs, and again, on 4K, this is one I haven't heard. You can't see aliasing issues on 4K monitors, and aliasing is the smoothing out of jagged edges. Yes, you can. Jaggies are still visible. Just because the pixel density goes up does not mean that AA goes away, because that's based on a software technology, not a visual technology. So it doesn't actually affect pixel density. If you've got crap AA in your game, then you're going to see it anyway. You're going to see jaggies no matter what you do.
I'm kind of sitting here chuckling to myself, wondering if we'll see the human eye can't see above 30 FPS or something.
Oh, I haven't gotten that far. I hope it's in here. Never use a magnetic screwdriver in your PC. Well, honestly, the mediums that it would, that incredibly small level of magnetism would have affected, like floppy disks or magnetic tape, they've all died out. I mean, rubbing the very, very weakly magnetized magnetic screwdriver compared to any kind of neodymium magnet, that would have actually caused errors on magnetic medium, like floppies and tapes. But everything in your PC is shielded, so that is a complete myth. It's because you're not using floppies and tape anymore, the incredibly weak magnetic field from a magnetic screwdriver isn't enough. Now, a very large, high-powered neodymium magnet, yeah, then you're going to have issues. But not a magnetic screwdriver. That's fine. I've never seen anybody do this. Windex is best for cleaning your monitor. No, it's not. It's great. But as this article says, it's actually too good because it contains ammonium hydroxide, which basically takes off the anti-glare coating. I honestly don't know, Vicky, but yeah, it's that good. It will remove your anti-glare coating on your monitor. So no, just use regular alcohol solution like everything else.
And don't use Windex on your car windscreen either.
Mm.
Fine on the inside, do not use it on the outside.
Here's one that was a bit of a shocker to me. Cleaning your registry improves performance. Now, we've all had those. Yeah, we've all been brought up thinking, your registry's bloated with entries and things like that. Now, I will say this for it. Registry cleanup may work, and, well, it actually does work for startup. When the registry is loaded on boot, that's when it may help you. But, well, actually, I shall read directly from the article here. Malwarebytes, one of the most widely used and respected anti-malware utilities on the web, offers a similar warning. You should not have to optimize, defragment, organize, streamline, clean, compress, fold, knit, wash, or color dye your registry ever. Period. Nada. Zilch. The potential performance enhancements resulting in the use of these programs are at best minuscule and unperceivable. At worst, they could damage your computer so badly it would require a reinstallation of the operating system. So, I am inclined to agree with them because, again, essentially, you can load up things on boot. You know, I think that's only going to be the place where it optimizes. But again, still, you just don't need to do it for the most part. And anything that a registry optimization could fix, again, that's nothing that a reinstall wouldn't fix. Which now, again, from SSD, I can do within 15 minutes. I can reinstall my OS because I've got it mounted to a Type 3 USB. I can do that in 15 minutes or less. Genuinely a full OS install.
Get that Type 3 USB on the case and just have it done in no time.
Oh yeah. On to the next one. A good antivirus program will keep you protected from all malware. That is complete and total bullshit. The best piece of antivirus software you have is in between your ears. That's the first stage of stopping any infection. There are things that you can't do anything about, things that operate through backdoors and whatever, security vulnerabilities, so on and so forth. That you can't help. But almost a good 90% of all infections are user-based. So, if it looks dodgy, don't download it, essentially. More cores means faster performance. Now, this is a bit of a topic, because this is one of the weird things of this generation. In the older generations, the generations of Pentium and, you know, those old kind of processors, it was a clock speed race. The faster you could get your clock speed, the better your PC was. Now, it's turned on its head. Now it's a core race, with AMD launching things like Threadripper at 16 cores and 32 threads, so on and so forth. So, you would kind of think that, well, if you have a 3 GHz 4-core chip and a 3 GHz octa-core chip, well, the octa-core chip's going to work better, isn't it? Well, no, not really, because it depends incredibly heavily on the software that's using it. Everybody's had that thing sort of like where they're rendering something or they're creating something, and you look over at, you open your resource manager and go like, oh, why is my computer chugging along? And that's because Core 1, or Core 0, depending on how it's numbered, is doing all the work. I mean, it's one thing that annoys me. I have 8 cores on my PC. Oh, no, sorry. 8 cores. I have 8 cores on my PC, and regularly I will glance over at my CPU usage, and Core 1 is wedged. It's at 100%, and all my other cores are doing like 10%. It's the software that asks the computer to do things. They aren't optimized for multi-core problems yet, which is why I'm so surprised and kind of looking forward to the new generations of consoles, because all the developers will make use of the multi-cores. They will make use of all those other things, so it will, well, hopefully, fingers crossed, generally mean a better multi-core experience for everyone else. Because again, if you've got 1,000 cores, it's not going to make a single iota of difference if all the load is going on to Core 0. It's a software issue, not a processor issue.
Didn't I see you had a bit of software from Steam to help with that issue? Am I remembering that right from you? Did you
help with which issue?
With the cores.
There is a piece of software available on Steam, but that is that's more dependent on older software. You don't get any advantage out of newer software.
Right.
It does try to act as a middleman to kind of spread the load across multiple cores. To take the instructions that are coming through for calculations and spread them across multiple cores. There are programs available for that, but again, it only tends to be any kind of benefit to really old kind of slower processors. So like a Core 2 Duo or something like that. If all your processing power is going onto Core 1 and nothing onto Core 2, then there's there's an obvious bottleneck there. I
saw that on Steam the other day, and I see that you had picked that up, and I was looking at it myself and scratching my chin at, because I thought myself that you had a fairly good rig.
Yeah, it was essentially to test how it operated, and under various... I was using it for specifically rendering tests. So if I selected a Core 0 render, so it was only rendering on one core, which is what a lot of these programs do, could this program spread the load across multiple cores and use my entire CPU? That was the challenge I was giving it. But the developer has responded and said it kind of can help in that area, but it's not likely to. It's more likely to help on more low-level tasks.
Older systems.
Yeah, it operates on a lower level than the rendering processes of modern software. Defrag and defrag often. Well, on modern NTFS systems, if you're running a modern computer, like a Windows 10, not only does it automatically schedule defrags, but it does still kind of structure it automatically anyway. Yeah, and as Lam says, your system does it automatically. So does mine.
Yeah, mine too.
It's not really a thing anymore. I've not had to defrag in years now, because that was even a thing on Windows 7. And Steam now tries to potentially not really defrag, but uniformly place its downloads in an easy order. I mean, that update's been in Steam for a very, very long time. So No, it's true, Lamb. It's a thing on systems. You're not showing off. It's actually a thing that's done quite often now, and without user knowledge or even input, to be honest with you.
Awareness.
Yeah.
All the time.
Because it's done at downtimes, and it pauses when you actually start to use the PC. So it's just not a thing anymore. You really don't need to do it anymore. Again, as the article says, if you're on an old 98 machine or something like that, then yeah, use defraggers. But if you're not, you really don't anymore, because the majority of the software that we use nowadays, and large software, for example, Steam, and for example, your Windows system files, yeah, they're already organized. Well, there's nothing wrong with doing it, Wesley. I mean, if you can achieve some benefit from it, but again, on a lot of systems, it's default selected and runs in the background. PCs are dead/dying, and we've entered the post-PC era. Steve Jobs said this, and I've never heard so much bullshit in my entire life. Next.
Absolutely.
That's the whole amount of time that I'm willing to spend on that. Here's an interesting one. Never buy a pre-built PC because it's always cheaper to build your own. And technically, that is still true. This is one of those things where it's on a technicality. For example, there's a local PC shop near to me. He could always build a PC for me cheaper than I could build it. Quite simply, he would do exactly what I would do. He'd go around, shop around, source the parts, but he gets them all at trade prices. So I can have a full system and the operating system installed and lots of software and things like that. And, well, he could do it cheaper and still make a profit because he gets it all at trade prices. So, yeah, you could actually buy, if you shop around, again, there's the caveat, if you shop around, you can actually buy a PC cheaper or about the same price as you can buy it and build it kind of thing, by component. So do shop around, and it does take quite a bit of research, but again, that's how it works.
It's also quite nice to support your own little local small businesses.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be able to build them, but again, you don't need to. You honestly don't. Unless you're buying an Alienware, which I will probably come round to your house and give you a smack upside the head for. Unless you're buying an Alienware, there is no reason to believe this myth. You can find cheap, viable and competitive PCs. PC gaming is too expensive. It's better to get a console. Oh,
I don't understand this one at all. Whoever said this?
Well, believe it or not, I have heard this this before. Alienware looks good. I know we'll agree with you. They look good, but unfortunately they are stupidly overpriced. They are a rip-off, because when Dell bought them out, when Dell bought out Alienware, they didn't buy the actual marketing model, the patented marketing model, which was an upgradable laptop. So what you get now when you buy an Alienware is just a high-end laptop that is stupidly overpriced, not an upgradable laptop, which was why they were so expensive in the first place. Anywho. Moving on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Essentially, it all comes down to the accumulative cost of consoles. But you can easily buy a PC, genuinely easily buy one that equates. And not only that, you can build it to do better than any console, so with a bit extra cash. So it's just not a thing, really. It's just not. It's a myth. Complete and total.
Have these people never heard of Steam sales?
Yeah. PC gaming, the only game where you buy games never to play. That is
Because they're so
really the
cheap.
mark of a PC gamer. You buy games to never play them.
You buy them just so you could say that you've got them.
Yeah. I have a rainy day library that's growing massive right now. I think I've played... to my defense, I have like 900 games on Steam, and I have played a good over 50% of them. So, in my defense, I've played a lot of games.
I have so many in my library that I've never loaded up or even installed.
Oh, here's one. I need a 1,000 watt power supply. No, you don't.
1.21 gigawatts.
Most definitely. Yeah, no, you don't. Most even... okay, if you're telling me you're running, 4 Titan X's, then yeah, fair enough. Yeah. But if you're running 2, 800 watts is more than enough, even for a dual SLI setup, if you've got a good PSU.
Yeah, as long as it's good. I mean, I'm only running a, 750?
Yeah.
And that's plenty. Even if I do decide to get a second GPU, that'll still be probably good enough.
Yeah, and 800 watts should be more than enough, especially if you have one of the better efficiency models. But again, even running... What did they do this with? Oh yeah, they did it with a 1080, which is my model of card. 2 1080s in SLI, 2 M2s, so on and so forth, and they only hit 760 watts at full tilt. Removing one of the 1080s dropped the power draw to 487 watts at peak. So, honestly, if you're running a single card, you don't need 800 watts. I've got 800 watts because I used to run a SLI setup, but I don't anymore. Overclocking is never worth the risk. Now, this is a dubious one. Well, a lot of processors now come with auto overclocks, so it's damn near idiot-proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come overclocked. And the most recent models actually have their own inbuilt overclock. Not only can you overclock it from the motherboard, but they also have a base clock speed and a turbo clock speed. So the base clock speed can be quite low, saving energy when the processor isn't really doing much, but be able to boost up to like just under, I think mine's 3.2, that goes up to, I think its base clock is 3 gigahertz, and it goes up to 3.5 on its own, and it does it all on its own. So, yeah. I mean, you can do it, but again, it's not really such a big thing. You can't game on a Linux PC. Yeah, seeing as Steam has an entire section based, for Linux, completely. Yeah, that's...
I mean, granted, I wouldn't do it myself, but yes, you can.
Oh, most definitely you can. So that brings us to the end of debunking popular PC myths. And on to the next article. So I've hit you with something heavy there, guys, but I know you're all kind of smart enough to see through the myths that are spread. But again, all this is linked. If you want to throw this back in someone's face, you can link this article to them. It will be linked in the Discord.
And that is the more you know.
And this sweet little thing is the $200 anniversary edition of BioShock.
Too expensive.
Yeah, this is awfully pretty, though.
They're very pretty if you've got the money for it.
Yeah, I mean, this is for the likes of Tim. He does do a lot of collectibles and things. Oh, yeah, Lamb just sounds Tim.
And I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture.
I did love this game so much. Well,
Bring us the girl.
I'm not going to go through the full thing. I'm sure you're all fully aware of what BioShock is. But I will say that it did give me one of my seminal gaming moments in video games, and that is, Would You Kindly? I thought that was such a beautiful plot twist. That was absolutely wonderful.
I very much did love the ending to BioShock Infinite.
And I did both, Has. I did the both playthroughs. I did an evil and a good playthrough. Now, here's another little... perhaps I should have featured this a little bit earlier, but this is actually... We're breaking into the sort of Xboxy section here. The enhancements that are coming for the Xbox One X. And I have to say, it looks very, very close to the PC playthrough that
18.
I did.
I'm on the right track.
Alpha footage
I only saw the ruins for a moment. And now Trinity is here.
We got him!
Such a gorgeous game.
The hired guns can finish the sweep down.
This is it.
Did you find the Prophet's tomb?
Yes. The tomb was empty. I think they were looking for the divine source. If this thing could really unlock the secret of immortality, it would change everything. Now I understand what Dad was going through.
Wait till you see this view, Lara. Take my hand.
Hi, King Buddy.
Thanks. Look at...
Have to say, I was going through the entire game going, he's going to betray me soon. He's going to betray me. He's going to betray me. He's going to betray me now.
that.
It's
amazing. I'm not going to give any spoilers. But yeah, that is a gorgeous, gorgeous game. And I really so enjoyed it because that was... Lara is just sort of starting to become Tomb Raider. Lara is almost there right now. She's such a great character. She's absolutely amazing in this. But anyway, because I honestly, first game, I started off hating her. Really did.
Yeah, you really didn't like her to start off with,
I did not like her at all. I like, that's not Tomb Raider. Don't give me this shit. By the end of the game, she was a double hard bastard, like nailing people left and right. Boom, boom, boom. And I was back in love again. So yeah. 118 Xbox One enhanced games already confirmed. Now, this also links on to the another article. Essentially, what's happening is it's because it's going to be backwards compatible. These older games are getting, well, essentially a 1X patch, completely free. Thank God. So yeah, a hell of a lot of games are getting an enhancement patch just for the Xbox One X, which is nice. It really is.
So, an enhancement pack is what exactly?
Well, essentially, it's just to take it up to One X's standards instead of being limited to Xbox One's standard.
All right.
So, it allows greater texture resolutions, it allows a greater frame rate, and so on and so forth. And to be fair, that is the one Achilles heel of all these kind of plus consoles. You know, the PS4 Pro and things like that. Their Achilles heel is the performance is so wild. You know, it'll run good on one game, or you can, especially on the Pro, you can have the choice between better resolution or higher frame rate. So it can look like trash but run fast, or it can look good and run like a steaming pile of crap. So it's actually having, and honestly, this will make or break, you know, its popularity if it runs well and smooth and gives the players a better experience, then it's worth it. But anyway, OMG, Xbox One Project X Project Scorpio Edition pre-orders are now open. But the next article says, nope, they're already sold out. So, I mean,
Yep,
it was up.
sounds about right.
It was up and sold out in super short time. So yeah, well, it's certainly selling well. Can't deny that.
And it's gone.
Yeah. But here's the thing. PlayStation are doing a little hint here. I hope to God that they aren't going to pull an Intel. Yeah. Good luck to Sony. I hope to God they aren't pulling an Intel, because if they've just pulled a console out of the ass dimension and rushed it to the fore, then this is going to be a weird thing. So I'm not sure how this is going to work. But in order for PlayStation to regain traction, it needs to be the biggest gun. Because the console wars are an arms race. They are. You know, it's
They
sort of like,
always have been.
yeah, we can do, you know, this processing. Oh, but we can do this processing. Oh, we have this
We've
graphics.
got
and
more
we've got
bits.
that graphics. Yeah, and it's yeah.
Yeah, that's how it always used to be.
We can do X teraflops or something, you know, something, whatever the hell they did at E3.
What was the buzzword?
That's what I'm trying to think of at E3. It was
No. I'm thinking way back in the day when they were sort of battling Super Nintendos versus Sega Mega Drives, and
oh god, it could have been anything back then.
oh god, yeah, they had a specific buzzword which was a load of made up crap. It didn't mean anything, and it still doesn't mean anything, but it was something they were pushing at the time, and it sounded fancy, so that's why, you know, they were kind of doing that. But yeah, I mean, the console always has been a sort of arms race to have the bigger, better console. There was even a tagline for when the Nintendo 64 came out, in the brief time that the Nintendo 64 was the most powerful console in the world, and at the time, that's precisely what the tagline was. You know, so every console that's ever tried to be the best has gone through some sort
even back in the days of Jaguar, where it was touted as the world's only 64-bit console. Which really
that was
wasn't,
just before the N64, I believe.
So yeah, exactly what this is. No things have been announced or anything. But if they're pulling an Intel and just rushing something out the door, just to have something out there, because right now Microsoft has the limelight and the Xbox does as well. Nobody's talking about PlayStation because, well, it's old hardware technically. I mean, hell. Even when it was made, it was still dated hardware. But my grievances with the shitty display of the console manufacturers so far aside, yeah, what's a PlayStation? And finally, we have, and this is brought to us by Prestige Clips, but we have some lovely fail moments here, and Prestige Clips are good at these. Well, fails and wins. But let's take a look. And rather than watch the entire thing, I am going to stop it so you can watch it all at your leisure. And there are loads of these. Loads and loads.
Now, just before you run this, I can say that you've actually got me kind of addicted to watching these things on YouTube now.
Really? You've never really watched them before?
No, I hadn't. And I now click on my YouTube homepage, and there's a bunch of these videos that pop up on the homepage because I've
honestly,
watched so many.
If you've played some of these games, some of the shit that happens is absolutely hilarious because you've been through that pain, you know. Especially in sort of like GTA 5, where sort of like you just get nuked and ran over and all kinds of stuff like that.
Oh yeah. They are very amusing, and I do find myself chuckling at a lot of them. But
okay, Vicky, you hipster.
I
watching Prestige Clips before it was cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's watch some funnies. See, this is a heist. There's actually supposed to be people here. You're looking around for people and doesn't see anybody. Oh! The dreaded GTA pop-in. Karma. Level 5 alerts.
Hey, what's up, home? Hi.
Du kannst ja nicht immer den User hochgehen mit dem Cargo-Boot.
Gotta love the physics glitches in this game.
Oh god.
Dink! Well, that sucks. This is not pink. Exactly.
Brah, fuck you.
What the fuck? Was ist das Süßle tun?
Which is my Süßle tun, yo,
And taken out by his own bike. That's actually happened to me.
Callers, if you like, are already incarcerated here in the States and throughout Central. Hierarchy at the top. So if you cut one head off, there's 6 more waiting to bite. Not that I want to dismantle any criminal network.
I care if you're fucking having threats. Why did I jump out? Fucking idiot. Why did I throw the fucking plane?
I think your Wi-Fi is having a hiccup right now.
Jesus Christ! Oh, this is not well. This is not well.
I'm saving that.
Man, I almost soiled myself.
Oh, only in GTA. Smash. Those Tron bikes are a thing now in GCN. Mission failed, the bus was destroyed. Yeah.
Let's have some sophisticated fun.
What miracle did you want me to perform?
Yes. Hashtag video game logic.
Oh, yes.
Help the injured people. We'll watch the fail of the week. Set him on fire. He's not going to let him get away. Smash. Nice. Well, I'm going to pause it there. So you guys can you can catch up with the rest of it. It is linked in the Discord. And that brings us to the end. And it's been a rather long show today.
It has.
There's been an awful lot to go through.
Nearly 2.5 hours worth.
But I hope you all enjoyed it anyway. So, I think it's time I ask you the question, Willie. Who the hell are you, and where can people find you?
I should have prepared this earlier, really, shouldn't I? You can find me on my website, howwerollpodcast.com. And there you can listen to me and my friends play Dungeons and Dragons and Call of Cthulhu. We have a damn good fun time doing it as well. So yeah, please do go check that out if that is your bag. It's a lot of fun and we get very drunk doing it. The other way you can find out what I'm up to and what I'm doing is to follow me on the Twitters. Now, you can do so by going to @GruntyBabyUK, where you will find myself, and you just go ahead and hit that little follow button. And yeah, that's it, basically. You are followed, and you will then get updates on what I tweet and when I tweet them. A lot of the times, they're pertaining to this precise show, actually. And you can see when we're going live and when Devious has fallen asleep and I have to make excuses for.
Yes, true. There is that. That does happen.
Sometimes it has been known.
Yeah, that does happen. It is a thing.
And what about yourself, Devious? Where can people find more of you?
Well, you can find me for the time being, and that's the key point here, right here. But next month, we are going to change. You're going to have to refollow us elsewhere because this channel will return to my name, Devious Furball, and we will have a new, dedicated MGN channel.
Goodness, people, you wouldn't believe how much work we've done to either changing this channel or making a brand new channel.
Yep. And, well, not wanting to meme too hard, but the fuckabout level has been too damn high.
Yes.
So, we've done a lot of juggling, but it's not over yet because it's been decided that, yeah, this channel is going to return to just being me. So there won't be any MGN news here. It will be now on the MGN channel. So this channel will return to Devious Furball, and you guys will have to follow us on the other channel. We will give links to it before we actually do the switch, so don't worry about it. We're not just going to like suddenly switch on you one day and you won't be able to find us ever again. We
Absolutely.
will.
We're going to be telling you about this shit for a whole month to come, so don't worry about it.
Yes. And I wouldn't follow me on Twitter because I don't say anything. Certainly don't say anything of interest. I just retweet mostly because I have absolutely nothing to say that is as short as 140 something characters. I have absolutely nothing that I can fit, poignant or worthwhile, that can fit into that kind of space. So
perhaps entertaining haiku, maybe?
No, because those two words just don't go together.
Damn, I was trying to get you to do one.
No. Entertaining and haiku. No, those two words don't belong in the same sentence. So yes, you can find me here between the hours of, well, if you're on GMT time, 10 PM, or if you're on EST time, you can see us at 5 PM. Yep, thank you very much, Vicky. Yep, there are the times. 10 PM GMT, 5 PM EST. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And, well, yeah. I actually think that's about it. So
that's pretty much a wrap, isn't it?
Yeah, so the only thing left to do is to host someone. Do you have any suggestions, or Vicky even? Because I've actually just checked my follow list, and apparently it's blank. Oh, that's because I'm on... No, it shouldn't be blank. Yeah. I've just I've tabbed across and refreshed my page, and in my follower list there is not one single person streaming, which I find incredibly weird. I mean, I follow Boom, but apparently he's not streaming. And there's, you know, like, well, there's all sorts of people.
Well, apparently Boom is streaming right now.
Yeah, it's not showing on my following thing, so that's why I'm asking you guys for suggestions. It's my follower list, everybody is offline. So I'm going to have to log out and log back in and do all that kind of shit.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 people on my list at the moment streaming, but I think we did Boom last time. Oh, well, fairly recently, actually.
Yeah, we have done Boom in the past, so...
I think we also have done Tim, who's also just started.
Mm-hmm. So anybody else? Anyone would like to suggest? Oh, we almost did Faux Daddy one time, but we went with Wesley's suggestion, didn't we? So we could raid Faux if he's online. Tim! Oh, we've got 1 vote for Tim, 1 vote for Tyloo. I've not met this Tim fellow. Yeah.
He's isn't Tim what's it, a warlock, a wizard, a summoner? What is he? I can't remember what he is now. Hang on.
And Wesley, what about Monstrous Rage? Hang on, was Monstrous Rage? No, he wasn't the one that we raided last time. Well, raided, hosted.
Ah, Tim was the enchanter.
Oh, from the Monty Python.
Yes, that's who I was looking for.
Some people call me Tim.
Do you know he actually forgot his line, and that was like ad lib, and they just went with it.
Well, who are we going with? We've done Tim, we haven't done Tyloo, and we've not done Monstrous Rage. So...
I don't know who suggested Tyloo.
Mimi suggested Tyler.
Mimi, heads or tails, my dear? Hurry up.
Or we could do a poll. Watch Tyrius play Overwatch. How about now?
Well, if you'd streamed into Tim's stream last night, you would have actually seen that for a little. Mimi, heads or tails?
Tails.
Here we go. And that is...
Under the couch, by the sounds of it.
Yes, it was. But it is actually tails.
Oh, okay. So what does that mean?
So
is that
we'll
Taylor?
go with it.
Yeah,
we'll
okay.
go with it.
Thank you so much for that rapid link there, Vicky. That's very kind of you.
That was very quick, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, guys, that leaves us to just say thank you very much for watching us, and we will see you on Wednesday.
Indeed. I can't wait.
Thanks very much, guys. Take care.
Catch you later, guys. Good night.